This conference will now be recorded.
I'd like to call to order Monday night, May 15th, 2023, Bladen County Commissioners meeting. This time I'd like to ask Reverend Tommy Knight of the Dublin First Baptist Church without invitation, and County Manager Greg Martin to release the state.
Let's pray together. Our Heavenly Father, God, we are so grateful again for the opportunity to be here, Lord. Thank you for the men and women who represent the county and the decisions that are made, God. We pray that you would be in each thing here tonight, God, as you govern and lead. We thank you, God, for those who are elected representatives who come together to do those things in the business of government for this county. Pray that you bless this meeting with wisdom and grace, God, tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before you consider, board consider approving item number 6 from tonight's agenda. Item number 6. Make a motion to consider also. He's here. Make a motion to remove by Mr. Britt. Have a second. Second by Dr. Ellis. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question on, consent item,
Yes, sir.
L.
Okay, sir.
Just help me to understand this, the Bladen County Government Independent Contract Agreement. It states, that it begins July 1, 2022 and ends June 30th, and we're signing it today. So is the beginning date correct, July 1, 2022?
Yes, sir. It's for services provided this year, and we need that. We haven't done it at this point. We do that each year so that we're able to pay them.
Okay, I was surprised. I was surprised that we're going retro for the beginning date.
No money's been paid yet, though, so we need to be able to.
So that beginning date is correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's for services provided during the year.
All right, I looked at that, Mr. Chairman, I said, wait a minute now. I didn't understand.
Yeah, we need to do an agreement so that we got to get started.
Well, we can do it this same agreement every year?
Yes, sir. That's what we're
Come
doing.
at the same time?
Right. Well, no, I mean, if we can do it earlier, that'd be fine. That'd be good. She just let me know that.
Yeah. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Mr. McGill, second by Dr. Ellis. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Have a public hearing, see comments regarding the proposed cleaning plan with Bladen Peanut Company. All that public hearing open at this time. Judge Eustace?
Yeah, this is the same incentive agreement that we've done a dozen times with companies in the past. It's good because it's totally performance-based. If they don't perform, they don't get the incentive. This one is with Severn Peanuts, so they're the folks that bought Houston's Peanuts. I can tell you the feedback we've gotten from employees is they're very happy there. They've compensation's good. They've gotten benefits they haven't previously had. So it's a good company. They're making some improvements to the building so they could expand actually even more in the future. And part of the need for this is between the town and the county that it's some incentive that's a match for some things they're getting from the state. So overall, they're expecting to invest about $17 million. You know, investment doesn't always translate directly to tax base, so the range is 7.5 to 15 million. The agreement says 50 jobs are actually thinking they're going to create closer to 60 jobs, and the jobs pay the county average wage or more. So,
Is there anyone else? Anyone else like to speak? Any questions? All right, clear the public hearing closed at this time. I have a motion by Mr. Britt to accept, second by
I second.
Second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, sir. Individual delegations wish to address commissioners. Matters of interest to commissioners. All right, Mr. Chuck Eustace, you're back up, sir.
So this is about the NC for me. And Greg, join in wherever. Greg and I have been working this together. We have been discussing for quite a while the need to recruit more labor into the county. We've gone down the path a couple of different directions, looking for folks that specialize in recruiting the military, but we were hearing prices as high as, good grief, like $250,000 for 6 months. I mean, just way more than we could afford. But about exactly a year ago, I heard from a group called NC for me. We're at the North Carolina Southeast, Steve Yost and them that do the industry recruiting. There was a lady there that she's the HR director for the town of for Onslow County. And this is a passion of hers that she does on the side, and they hire military human resource folks, and they do events all over the place. They're supported by the legislature. There are huge companies like Lowe's that are sponsors. But anyway, they actually just had an event in Hope Mills, and Comores actually sent a representative to Hope Mills to go to the event. And what they do is they'll invite maybe like a couple of hundred soldiers that are getting ready to exit to come, and there'll be like maybe a barbecue and beer thing, and they talk to them all one-on-one. So this isn't recruiting tens of thousands of people. This is way more kind of hands-on and personal. I think
Mr. Bullock and Mr. Peterson.
Yeah, Mr. Bullock and Mr. Peterson both came to see the presentation on it. They've been very successful for some big companies like Pike Industry, that's an infrastructure.
Chuck, for context, that Comores was at that same meeting we had at the winery. That's how they knew about it, and that's why they went to this event last week.
Yeah, but their feedback was very good. And so the fact they said now that they understand how it works, they think they can do a lot better next time. So anyway, the typical sponsorship is $50,000 a year, but that is for one company. So like Lowe's sponsors at $50,000 a year, or if it were Boeing or Walmart. But now typically this is going to be some of your more, this is not your low skill labor. This is more your skilled labor. So like people that could be engineers or managers or accountants or potentially nurses. Greg and I came to him with it. Greg heard them at the Association of County Commissioners, and he asked me about it. Well, I heard about them a year ago. So Greg and I sat down, we strategized, and we came up with what we felt like was a creative solution, and we called Kimberly. And we proposed if the county were to join for the sponsorship of $50,000, could we then gather all the industry jobs from our industry people, send them to them, and have them match up soldiers? So she was very excited about the idea. She thought that it could be something that could be a model for the rest of the state, but she wanted to go back to her people and talk to them. She did come here and do a speaking event. We probably had, well, it was our industrial management council. So there were people there that came that aren't interested in it because they feel like they're too small for it. But a lot of them were interested. Well, what she came back on a counter proposal, and keep in mind, this is talking about a year. What we're going to present to you all is a pilot. But what she's thinking is in a typical year, if the county does the $50,000 sponsorship, then up to 10 industries for only $2,000 a year would get the service. And we would also have a dedicated recruiter that would go to these functions and to the military bases for Bladen County. So in a typical year, the 50,000 from us, and then 2,000 from each of the industries. So the industry would be getting subsidized by $48,000. So what you all talked about was, look, our industries are some of the biggest taxpayers they are, and do they get what other people get? So why not help them with the labor issue? They would be getting a $48,000 subsidy to get this service. What she said was, okay, since we're in the middle of a year, let's try it out for 6 months. And she would let us pilot this for $25,000 from the county, and then the industries pay $1,000 a piece to pilot it for 6 months. Any questions?
Yeah. Counties that's in our side range, are any of those counties looking at this type of pilot initiative? I'm just saying 25,000.
No, literally, I don't think there is a county anywhere doing this.
So we want to invest the money to start a pilot for this particular type of project. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. We would be the first time they have tried this with a county being a sponsor and is allowing 10 businesses to get in. I can tell you, I kind of started with the larger businesses and worked my way down, and we already have 7, and a lot of them are our largest businesses. Some of our businesses that employ hundreds of people that are interested in doing this. They think it can help them.
The reason I'm asking the question,
Yeah,
is I'm looking at companies like Comores, Smithfield, the big and all firms, country. They're gonna join in for 2,000, and we got to put up 50,000, 25,000, 50,000. If they can't offset the compensation, there's no kind of arrangement on that. If that's the way the arrangement is.
this first pilot time, what you all directed us to do was go find a way to recruit labor to the county to help with the labor issues the industries were having. So let's take, for example, Smithfield pays millions of dollars in taxes. So they're kind of paying for it. But this may be something that as we go down over time, maybe we can reduce ours and the people that use it more could increase theirs. But we're just responding to what y'all asked us to go try to do.
So I thought it was $25,000 for 6 months. I didn't know there was $1,000 tagged on every industry.
That's what they came back to us with, $1,000 per industry that wants to participate as well.
The group NC for me
Yes, sir.
is the ones that will be receiving this funding.
Yeah, that's right.
So they will come in and set the whole program, the announcements, set the whole process in motion.
They already have events scheduled around the state that they go to and recruit military. They already go on the bases and recruit military. What our money's doing is basically going to pay for the staffing. This is a nonprofit.
So this is for only military employees.
This is only recruit military, right?
Recruit military.
This is not everybody. This is just recruiting, well, military spouses it could be. Yeah, could be military spouses.
So, well, I'm making sure now, I know y'all went to the meeting, I'm just kind of good speak. We feel that there's enough jobs that's here in Bladen County that we could benefit significantly if we invested this money, recruit people to come in here at this time.
What I've been told by businesses is right now, placement of one employee can cost them into thousands of dollars.
Now, I was looking at with housing and certain things we were talking about.
Well, now look,
And then we talking about bringing them in here and you guys
That's right.
looking for housing.
that's a legit problem. I mean, they could find people that want to come here, but if the people can't find housing, but
We got housing coming.
we're working on all of this at once. I mean, we're juggling chickens and eggs and chainsaws right now, but
That was my next question, Mr. Dunham. How is this supposed to be formed? Because I was thinking we were looking at bringing housing in place for the initial piece of it, so we could bring people in so that they would find housing, Is we putting the cart before the horse, which what we're doing.
Yeah, in some ways, we are, but you'd hope that, I mean, what I'm hearing from businesses is if you find 10 people that it's way worth the money, and you would hope that we could find 10 homes here. I mean, there's always a home coming up for sale. We just don't have a bunch of them. But you got to try it sometime. I mean, but that's up to y'all.
Anyway.
And now, Condell started. Tell me, what type of jobs are we referring? You said they had 10 jobs. 10 people, what type of jobs?
10 businesses.
Right, like what?
Okay, like Comores wants to do it for sure. They went to the first event and they said it was very good. They think they can find good employees coming out of the military.
Because they had that connection already with the military. Comore does. At least they did.
They tried. They think that they tried. They feel like this could accentuate their efforts.
They have a lot of that did go into.
Oh yeah, Comores,
Yeah.
DuPont, I mean, corporate wide, it's a goal to hire more military, but
Who else? What other industry?
okay, Comores is interested, our hospital's interested, Cape Fear Valley, they're interested. Town of Elizabethtown is interested. Sovereign Air, the new company that just announced 2 weeks ago. And see, Lord, they have trails all in, and they still want to do it because, you know, if we can find these 5, but they can find those 5. Campbell Oil is interested. SPT, Danaher, Veederoot, they're interested. And we are currently recruiting an unnamed company now that military labor would be extremely important in locating, and they have an interest. But I would tell you, if they do it, I think Bladen's Blooming's going to pay their fee for the pilot program as part of the incentive of the package that we're putting together recruiting them.
That's why.
Because it's only $1,000.
The level of education and experience is above what we were normally recruiting. What you're looking for.
You're looking for military folks because all the things you always hear, dependability, teamwork, experience, showing up on time, being able to, you know, learn things quickly. I mean, yeah, we all know why employers want veterans so badly.
So I know that Smithfield has a recruiter. I know that SPT has a recruiter. I'm sure Comores and DuPont and Ferrari have recruiters. And if they're willing to put another $1,000 in, I think it's something we need to try. When DuPont come here, it was a military operated unit. That's all they hired was military. I mean, you're getting trained people that gets up and goes to work. You're getting everything you need as an employer by hiring those people. These people talked to, when they spoke, the housing people were there, the group, the small house or whatever they're going to end up building, if they ever build it. He told them he could recruit carpenters and stuff like that, electricians and stuff as well. So it's good paying jobs, but it ain't all high level jobs, is what they told now. I hope that's true. But Chuck, you better work on 10 or they need to reduce our $25,000.
Well, if it's going to be
I'm just telling you.
it's going to be $25,000 regardless. We have to come up with a 10. So
The question I want to ask is, I know, Charles, y'all got privy to that presentation. I'm just trying to sink all this into my head, what this group does. You know, I know it may be, is there any way that they could come in and somebody could give us some of the
They did.
Author myself.
I ain't saying that. I'd like to know myself. But he's telling me everything. Charles.
I think it's a positive impact, but the only thing I was thinking about is the housing. You know, if we don't have housing, you can forget.
They did. She brought her team from Jacksonville.
Is that complicated for them to come, this board, we gonna put up money, county money, to tell all of us what to get ready to do?
They did.
As far as the housing goes in our current industry's problems right now, we've already got hundreds and excess of thousands of people that commute back and forth into our county now when it comes to DuPont, Smithfield, and, Comores, and a lot in the town locally. The positive side of that is, I think with the right opportunity, they're gonna come and commute to the fine house. And like everyone has said here, we're working on the housing hard, but I don't think that will stop them for an opportunity to drive for a period of time to make a choice.
Yeah, I do think that because of the housing issue, it probably will not be as successful as it could if we had housing. But, I mean, you gotta start at some point. Mr. Cogdell, I imagine that she would do another Zoom if, right.
But the person I'm saying, when they come into town and you set up this meeting, and those guys is in our county, we don't have to worry about a company from the outside coming. None of them will be involved. Anybody like from Cumberland County, New Hanover County, would anybody else be a part of this to come in and say, we putting up the job program and they coming in and New Hanover?
No, this is just us and our 10 businesses.
It will be limited only to
That's right.
who we have in participation that's paying the $100. I don't want to come in and we get money that they go shipping it someplace else. You know, the more say I got somewhere.
Oh, no,
He already addressed that. It's not gonna be exclusive to.
It's not gonna be like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think I misunderstood the question. What?
I think his action was exclusively for Bladen County.
No. Yeah, the event, the event.
Oh, no.
Planned. That's not just for Blake.
What he's asking, I think, and I don't mean to interrupt. What I understood was that they would go, whether it's Cumberland County, or whether it's Harnett County, or whether it's Robinson County, and we would have a recruiter there, but it would be open for everybody that's in that program.
Right.
That's what I'm at.
Yes, they have sponsors. They have huge corporate sponsors.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, Lowe's,
Regional event.
yeah, these things are in like, they're at the military bases. They're around Jacksonville. They're
All these other
around.
guys can join into the event that we have.
Our guys can go to those events, but we'll also have a recruiter there working for us.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just over.
And we can go.
Okay, I was wondering whether this limited.
Tyshell could go. I mean,
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
To go outside the county and try and get guys to come in, all over the place. I mean, we got a recruiter going there with that $25,000. We'd be a part of their complete system.
yeah, anytime they go to a military base, they're recruiting for us.
Everybody else. Okay, I just want to.
And, right.
I was just gonna say, one of the benefits is that we will be able to recruit Fort Bragg, Camp Lejeune, Cherry, multiple military bases within the state. Not
That was
limited.
the question I was trying to get clear. Every time I said, did it come to us, I was asking for more information. That's all.
I thought you were asking, could a business over in Cumberland County come on our dime? No, okay, I misunderstood your question.
When we doing it, that we had this way, we can get people from anywhere.
No, anywhere, right. They could find somebody exiting in Texas that wanted to come back and live in North Carolina.
I hadn't heard what the guys had to say to the total program. That's the only reason I asked.
Yeah, I misunderstood your question.
Time is of the essence. We've asked Chuck to come up with something. This is a good proposal. If we move on, at least we're catching, 6.5 months or whatever. We're not, the longer we wait, we're just gonna be that much further behind.
So once you get 10, you come back to us for us to actually appropriate the money, or you?
No, they're wanting us to, go ahead,
I was
Greg.
gonna say, if you all will give us the nod to move forward, we'll have a formal.
Another action item.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Then we'll have a formal,
Oh,
we're
okay.
having a formal agreement for you in 2 weeks.
Sounds like a winning
That
day.
sounds like a better, I can handle that.
Thank you, sir. Next we have Ms. Vicki Smith, Director of Social Services.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I have come this evening with the request for a change of a schedule. If you will recall, back in October, we were granted 2 positions for Child Protective Services. One was a daytime worker, and one was for an on-call position. And we do have that position. We have had since July of 2022 to April 30th of 2023, 113% turnover in Child Protective Services. So we have went around the bend one time and we're going around another. And everyone that has left our agency has said why they are leaving is the on-call piece. We've got that one position, but you still had to have some backup from our daytime position. So what I'm requesting is to be able to take one of our daytime positions and put it in as a nighttime position, so we will have a team that can do on-call. These two positions will work 7 on, 7 off. While one worker is working 7 days, the other worker's off. When that first worker completes their schedule, the second worker comes in. Their schedules will start on Wednesday instead of our typical Sunday. They work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7.5 hours. They will come into the agency at 4 o'clock to receive supervision and have time with the supervisor. They will go off the clock at 11:30 to receive a 30-minute lunch. And then at 12 to 8:30 the next morning, they will do on-call, because we receive calls during the night that we have to respond to. On the weekend, on Saturday, they will bill for 15 hours, and then on Sunday, they will bill for 15 hours. Then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they will work the evening. We feel that we can keep them busy. On Saturday and Sunday, we do not go idle. We are doing initiations. We're doing follow-up work from the week. We're doing courtesies for other counties, for work that they've got to do here in Bladen, where a family member may be here and we have to do that. There is no money, no extra money. It's just changing their hours. We're trying to have some stability in our Child Protective Services area. Keep in mind that with all of the turnover that we've had, our foster care unit has been included in that backup. We're trying to get it to where those foster care workers aren't having to provide on-call as well.
So much to approve by Mr. McGill, have a second by Dr. Mondones. Any discussion?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for doing this, and I hope that other departments may follow if needed. I told, when I was at the health board meeting, I do think we need to look at shift differential for these employees. I think that should be added in if they're up at night stuff, because I think we do that for some departments. Nobody don't get jealous, nobody don't get, used to.
We already.
What do we do away with that for?
You only did it with the jail back. Doing back with the jail back when we were talking about the jail, that shift difference, you guys working different times. When that's the jail, when we had discussion.
God, I thought you paid people for.
No. I was talking about the jail. That's what it's about. When shipping all the people in the jail.
I'm sorry, don't do it.
And staff was running all over the place.
You think you'll get someone to move in?
We already have some that have shown an interest. One of our former employees, that when he left, he was struggling. Said he was ex-military and he was used to a rigid schedule. And going home and having the interruptions just did not work for him. And he was saying, if you had some on call, I could deal with that. We interviewed a young lady last week before, and we were just talking about some things that we were looking at, and she said she was interested in on-call. So some of our current employees, they may be interested. We do have some surrounding counties, Robeson, Columbus. Robeson's been doing this for some time. Columbus has been doing this about 3 months. Pender County has been doing this, I think they started back in the wintertime. They say that their staff love because we know we're working for 7 days and then 7 we're off, we can do whatever. So it's thinking outside of the box.
You have 2 that's doing that particular type of job.
Correct.
2.
Just 2.
So basically be 1.
They work 7 nights in a row.
Yes. They will do Go back to your schedule. It was hard for me to wrap my head around it, and once I
Well, you said
wrote
they're
it
working
down.
nights, I mean, you got
Yes,
to be seven.
they will work 4 to 11:30, and then from 12 to 8:30, they are on call. So that if they get calls in, they have to respond.
You're still working 7 nights. If they're going to night shift, they're working 7 nights. Why wouldn't you split that up to help be better on the floor to do 3 nights and 4 nights every other week? 7 nights, I'm telling you, 7 nights, that's a stretch.
But I can't, okay, during the week, when they're doing those 7.5 hours at 12 o'clock, we may get calls, we may not. They've already pulled their 7.5. And then on the weekend, the 15 that they bill, that's a 24-hour period. I can't say that they're gonna work a full 24 hours. We're gonna keep them busy. We've kept the social workers out for 12, 13 hours, on a Saturday especially. So
Now, I
they're
commend you
still
for what
having
you're
some-
doing. I'm just saying it'd be easier on those employees not to have to work 7 midnights in a row. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying that they're gonna be working 7
Just told me
midnight.
they're working nights. Well, that means they're coming in.
Hypothetically, they could. They'll be at home. Yeah, you're,
4 to 7. 4 to 11.
right. No,
4 to
but they
11,
could
they will
if
be
they're
able
home.
to.
7 days in, they ain't coming in.
It's the weekend that, well, anything after 11:30, 12 o'clock, they may get a call, they may not.
But how do you deal with one if you got one working? And all of a sudden, he gets tired of one afternoon, and he's
They
there
need
all
someone.
day and all night. How do we do that then? To cover where that person gets to his 40 hours?
Right. We would have a backup with our regular daytime workers, but I don't foresee us having to activate that backup schedule.
So you got a plan in place
Yes,
if that was the case?
Yes, because they're gonna need time off,
As long as you got 5 minutes.
they've got 7 days to take care of business, so.
Now, I'm just saying, say I've worked my hours, I'm not working anymore, we just said we won't compensate, no differential, no different pay. How you gonna cover? You say, I'm not working anymore, I'm done for this week.
We know it's working in other counties. This is going to be a work in progress. I'm sure there will be some things that we've got to tweak, but it's working for those counties. And
Is there any way, Vicki, maybe in 6 months, you come back and let us know how it's going?
Sure, we can.
I make a motion to approve.
Those that you interviewed, are they current employees or they knew that?
They will be, one is a former employee, and then the other one is, she's coming from another entity.
Okay. All right,
All right, folks, all ready? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, ma'am.
We appreciate it. We're just trying to, as someone said today, we're trying to get, some extra tools in our box to encourage people to come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Lisa Coleman, Finance Officer.
Evening to each of you. We're going to review the dashboard for 10 months ending April 30th. At the end of April, in revenues, we had received 61.27% of the general fund revenues and spent 54.91. Solid waste, we collected 65.67 and spent 70.62. Emergency telephone, we were at 44.45% revenues and spent 30.85. And in the water department, we collected 92.76 of the revenues and spent 50.74. Questions on the dashboard?
Mr. Chairman, I'm trying to understand this, on the property taxes, you collected 102.68%.
Of what was budgeted. That's when we did our projections last year. We were projected for appeals. That didn't happen. Not all the appeals happened. So, yeah, we did pretty good.
Yeah,
That also,
2%.
Mr. Chairman, that also includes prior year taxes.
Oh, some people, that was my next question, was some of the citizens, next question was some of the citizens delinquent that paid.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
And on the federal inmate program right now, we're averaging 74.65 inmates, and currently we have 73 in the jail. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next we have advisory board appointments.
Motion to reappoint Dublin.
Second to reappoint on the Dublin Fire Service by Mr. Peterson, second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Reappoint that later.
Second. Mr. McGill, a motion to reappoint on the White Lakes Planning. Who was the second? Mr. Britt. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You see, there's quite a few from 2019. Yes. Next we have American Rescue Plan Act. Mr. Martin. This is.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, there's, I may be missing something there. On District 3, 52.5 and 27.5 comes to 80,000. So I'm obviously missing something where there's a 20 grand difference. I'm not sure. Front page, ARPA enabled projects, District 3, budget was 100,000. We've spent 52.5 and have a balance 27.5. So I'm trying to figure where the other 20,000. You can take it. We could use it. If it were went to.
You done gave some money to somebody, they approved the application they come in on. Probably what it is. That's what we got some of it.
I think the spent number's wrong.
Yeah, I think the spent number's wrong too.
Isn't that right?
You still have 27.5 out there.
Okay, so the spent number's what's
All right,
wrong.
the
It's
spent
supposed to be 72.5. Does that sound right?
I'll have to look at that. I haven't got the spreadsheet.
Thank you.
Thank you for.
Yeah.
You all have your sheet, 2 slides on each sheet. Okay, that's where we've been getting off on our numbers. I've had a full sheet. Okay, so I'm on slide 4 on page 2, second slide on page 2. On the unassigned request, beginning with number 2, you see the first is for the Wilmington area rebuilding ministry. We haven't had anybody indicate that you want to fund that yet. So if there is no interest or you determine there is none at any point in the near future, we'll be glad to delete that like we did some of this last week. Number 3 is Bladen Baptist Resource Center. Lisa and Kelly were in the office today, and they have done a budget revision to add an additional $12,916 for ramps, and that's for block grant funding. So that, in addition to the money that Mr. Britt funded last time, is going to be a big help to that organization.
I would say we
So
scratch
that
the
goes
rest
up
of
to,
it.
that's the 7 plus he gave, plus the 12 you got.
Scratch 3.
Scratch 3. We're in new goal.
12 million.
Okay. We're going to number 4 and 5.
Yes, sir. And then that leaves number 4. This application is from Bladen County Youth Focus Project, Inc. $7,500 to remove and replace carpet, repair water damaged areas in the floor, and various projects like that.
I make a motion we approve that.
Second. Just for, just.
That's money coming from the 4.
Yeah,
that's the 4.
The 4.
And then with number 5, likewise, make a motion for them. Let's give approve number 5. That's the money that's coming from the 4 of us.
The 4 of y'all split both things.
Oh, second. 4 and 5.
Second for both of you.
4 and 5. The 4 of us are splitting that money.
I'm gonna take care of that. Mr. Cogdale, got a second by Mr. Gillespie. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Moving on to item 13, I'll review the calendar with you briefly. Point out, just to remind you, tomorrow at 6 p.m. we have a special budget meeting here in on Thursday, the 18th at 10:30. There's a Safe Kids Day, Public Library. Also, that evening, the committee of 100 annual dinner will be held at the winery. It should be a good. This weekend is the White Lake Water Festival, White Lake. Also on Saturday from 9 until 2, there's a blood drive that will be held at Clarkson First Baptist Church. Tuesday, the 23rd, there's a special budget meeting scheduled for 6 p.m. here. On Wednesday, the 24th, from 9 until 1, there's a blood drive that's being hosted by Cape Fear Valley. That will be located in front of the courthouse. The CFB meeting will be held at the Cape Fear Farmers Market on Thursday, the 25th at 6 p.m. County offices will be closed on 9th and observant for the birthday. Moving over to June.
Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir.
Before you move away from May, I think it's May the 25th, they got the ribbon cutting for the new helicopter at the hospital.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got the invitation.
Yeah, on the 25th, Mark.
Helicopter.
10:30 to 11:30 or something, 9:30.
Something like that. They sent an invitation out in the mail.
I won't leave that out.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Martin, what day will you say, John?
25th.
I think it's 9 or 10 o'clock, I'm not absolutely sure. I should have got it,
I got mine, I can't remember.
My mail is late, it goes to Columbus County.
but they can verify it and send us the thing. I know it ends at 11:30. I believe 9:30.
9:30, 11:30, I believe it's 12.
I'm not absolutely, okay.
Mr. Martin, I seen a sign, I don't know what is the wording on it now, but at E-Town City is having something for kids. Oh, okay, I saw the sign,
Safe kids thing.
Okay, thank you.
Moving over to June, on Monday, May 5th at 8 a.m., there's a prayer service here. Board meets that evening at 6:30. The Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meets on Monday the 12th at 5 p.m. There's a Board of Elections meeting on the 13th at 5. Board of Commissioners meets on the 19th at 6:30. Wednesday, the 21st at 9 a.m. to the Bladen here, Bill Gottfried. Moving on to item B, we have a resolution for consideration to appropriate $6,250 from the opioid settlement funds for the drug court grant application for Act Associates. Just to remind you, we'll share the cost of that with Columbus County, so it's
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Mr. Peterson.
Mr. Hess.
Second by Mr.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, Mr. Peterson.
So, Mr. Martin, that's only $6,500 for us in Columbus County to pay for the grant to go after that money.
yes, sir.
Okay.
She said 6,500,
Whatever it is.
6,250.
Yes, it's
That's good.
12.5.
That's good, the grant.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you. Item C is an update on the nonprofit grant applications. You remember we discussed this briefly a month or so ago. And, we have received better feedback this time, so thank you for sending that back out, for the commissioners for suggesting that. You all have a sheet like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can see the applications have been received from Lower Cape Fear Life Care in the amount of $1,500, Bladen County Youth Focus, amount of $1,000, Bladen Baptist Association, $1,500, Wonder River United Way, $1,000, BFW Post, $862. And just clarification, so we're all on the same page. That BFW application there at the bottom, it may overlap with the BFW application just approved for flags. So, if you notice, that was $2,500 you approved for 2,400 flags, so 2,044 flags, and they're like $3 each, so. So it appears there's overlap there.
Are the applications saying the same thing?
This one is a little broader, includes more than just the flags, but it does include flags and more.
Whoa.
And then we got one.
But it costs more than $2,500 to do, to begin what you all approved.
Yeah, they might have put out flags today.
I'm looking at the total, we got 8,500, right?
7,500.
You got 8,500.
85?
Yeah.
8,500.
Well, typically, when we get into this situation where we go over, we take look at candidates, but we gonna do the same procedure we normally follow, where we split the money 5 ways evenly to exhaust the funds? Or how you do it?
So, my question, I asked Greg earlier, and I don't know that I'm right or wrong again, probably wrong, my track record's not very good tonight. At one time, we 9 commissioners, everyone picked one, and we divided it 9 ways. Did we get away from that already, or is that the way we do it?
We did, Charles, but then we turn around, and every time when we were trying to exhaust the money, because people run out of it, we said, whatever it equates to getting that amount of money, we just give it out evenly and split it.
Well, no, we did that, so y'all raised so much sand that we decided to, and I don't know if we changed the policy, don't get me wrong, it's not really where I'm wrong, but that was the easiest way to split the money, and everybody got a say-so. Am I not right or am I wrong?
I remember that. I don't know about, I remember evenly, splitting or sharing the amounts to each organization.
With 9 commissioners. With 9 commissioners.
No, by the way,
We
just
just said,
sitting
well,
there.
we all 9 commissioners, am I wrong?
We done it one time with 9 commissioners. I don't know if we
We
did
did one time with 9 commissioners, we went back and said, let's just split the money. and
Right.
break the
The
money
last
down.
time.
Everybody said, take
And
what.
then one time we had, I think the next time we had just enough to split it evenly. That's all that applied, so we split it evenly amongst everybody, because that's all we had to apply. And so everybody got an even amount.
Would work well this year. It looks like that would work well.
Yeah, it would work well.
It ain't gonna do a whole lot of money, the reason we decided to do it 9 ways. 9 divided into it.
Well, ain't but 7 divided into it if you do it the other way.
9. You got 9 commissioners.
But you got, ain't but 7 people want money.
Yeah, but 6.
You got 13 people
There's
listed.
only 6 people want money.
No, some of them haven't requested anything this year, Charles.
It's 7.
1, 2, 3,
Where you
4,
see
5,
I know,
6.
but I'm just
I hate to say it, Mr. Cogdell's right. There's only 6 that have requested names. So if you see what I'm saying, there's only
I
6.
know what you're saying, there's potential for 13 people. Or why you got them listed on?
Because they were given money last year, but they haven't requested it this year. That doesn't fall back to the.
It's only 6.
Your track record says it's first.
Like amount, of course, you know.
Got me confused now. They haven't requested anything.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I
I make a
understand
motion
what you're
that
saying, but I thought it was 13.
we'll discuss it in a minute. I make a motion that we give the money and split it evenly 6 ways, the total to 6.
I'll second that.
It's not a agenda action item, you can't
Oh,
do
you
that.
can't do it?
I am right there.
Where are you
So
getting
why
the
is it
picture
here?
from? It's only the one. Oh, they didn't request.
Oh, that's an update on it.
Right there.
Okay, just an update. All right.
And you're,
The one
you're,
that- the one that-
I'm talking about, so if these people request last year, we need to call up, we'll make sure they don't need it this year.
The VFW
You
is
got
on
to
this.
cancel people like that.
The ones,
13.
all the ones,
I got
all the
you, I
ones
got
in blue are the funded, the ones that white are not.
Right.
The point I was trying to make though, there's people on here that need this money, they haven't filled it out, and we need to verify reason they're not interested or what. For 30 days.
We just extended for
Mr.
30
Mark,
Yeah, as you can see, just like Mr. Peterson, or to speak to his comments, that you can see how you evenly divided it last year in terms of per year. I'm not,
That's what we did. We gave it to, split the money, the Eagle 6 to 45. And I just made a motion to do the same thing in kind this year.
you can't do it, it's not action item.
Why not? If the board agreed to it, I can make a
No,
motion.
you can't.
You can't tell me to make, I can't.
Not legally, you can.
They don't.
come back next time.
Money.
Not legally, you can't. The next time you said it, I'm gonna show legally tell you, you can't make one.
Am I looking at it right? Last year, we gave money to 6 different organizations. Is that correct?
That's what we did.
So obviously, it won't, we wouldn't
We gave to everybody.
do that last year.
This is reasonable.
Because it wasn't that many last year.
That's exactly right.
I'm just saying, I'm just gonna do the same thing and try and get this business behind us, but since you want to just wait till next week, we do the same thing next week, because the thing shut down.
You just got more money.
That was,
No,
You got more money.
it's the same amount of money.
because we move on to D now.
so we're gonna put this back on for.
Yes. Put it back on.
If anybody has any direction to share with us.
It's gonna be an action item next time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, as far as any way we can help structure something. And then moving to item D, I wanted to follow up regarding the emergency services director description and compensation. You all will recall that last time you approved the revised responsibilities to reduce the responsibility. We did send that off to our consultant. He came back and he said, I understand, that you want it to be as high as possible to recruit someone. However, with the responsibilities, his recommendation is to place it in a band B. And just to remind you all, department managers are in bands. And there's more flexibility in terms of the starting salary and that type of thing. So, for instance, whereas this position was in a band A earlier, which started at 77.1, band B goes from 65 to 81. And so, I think we placed at your table there, other positions in band D, just kind of give you a sense. And just thinking about it, our thought is just to make it as competitive as possible, but certainly what I think is it could be in the 70, at least in the 70 range, or whatever, things like that.
I mean, how much personnel is this person have?
It would only be, what, 5? I think it's only 5. GIS, 2 or 3.
So it's kind of comparable to the rest of you guys in town.
Oh, Jesus.
A number of those have been here longer, but.
Yeah.
But it's still about the same number of employees as supervisor.
I personally, I personally think this thing needs to be between $65,000 and $75,000.
I'd like 65 to about 70.
Well, I can support that. That's the two numbers I have, but I'll go give you the high one first.
So you're going ahead this 5 years?
I mean, we took a lot of jobs off this thing. And these people the salaries we got, they've been here a long time.
Yeah. The library director.
So I really think we need to be fair about this thing when we do it. I mean, if someone applies that we have to negotiate, then bring it back to the board and see what the board wants to do. That's my thoughts.
Looking at the scenario, I was looking at time with longevity with employees. I mean, you look at the library director, and you come in at that scale that you came in, that person would be kind of competitive with that person coming in. 65 to 70,000. 65 to 70. Charles, I might go along with you on that.
Please don't.
Please don't do that. Does everyone agree with the job description? If I had a chance to read that, that looked good.
That was actually approved at the last meeting. My bad.
The job description, please, if you just want the salary.
I make a motion to do 65, 75.
65 to 75. That's right. Second by Mr. Gillespie.
And if,
That's the range.
I thought it said 65 to 70.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we make a motion 65 to 75.
and Mr. Esther, I will add into that, if that range don't work, then we'll negotiate. Greg can negotiate with commissioners.
So is that the higher, you're saying the starting range, just make it the whole, pretty much the whole range?
65. You didn't run it. Negotiate.
We're talking about the starting, I'm just trying to clarify for us.
Yeah,
So we don't have
65 to 75 window.
starting range.
Mr. Chairman, so can someone come here and get the 75, day one?
They got experience.
If they have experience, they do.
I had a hunch of it. But they don't know where the fire department is, we're might start at 65. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
65 to 75.
Individual delegation wish to address commissioners. Matters of interest to commissioners.
I just got a question. What are we gonna do about that school report?
Yeah, what happened?
There was some question about some of the things that were on it, whether it was covered or not, so there came some questions, from the school and from the county side. So,
Why didn't you do it before? Now we're waiting.
Oh, I'll tell you what happened. I questioned Greg whether you could use capital money for painting of facilities. And I questioned Greg if you could use that money, capital money, for music rental equipment. So it was better to table it all and get it all straightened out and come back.
Legal matter.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
All right.
But I didn't want to approve it if you can't do it.
You
did good that time.
I'm okay with that.
That's good. That's good.
or hey, just be blunt with it. Just be blunt with it.
That's fine.
This time, Mr.
Brent's made a motion to go into closed session regarding attorney-client privilege. We have a second by Mr. McGill. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
After 5 minutes.
At this time, let's take a 5-minute